This is Valerie Van Boeven with the Senior Care Industry Netcast, where leaders with 3 or more years in the senior care industry share their advice and experience. It's 6 questions in 9 minutes, so let's get to it. In a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Nick FERRIGNO, and I work for a company called Nuclear Care Partners. And what we do is we help any former energy workers, so anybody that worked at a former Department of Energy site. They could have been a contracted employee, like through the union, but these folks handled nuclear weapons, nuclear materials, and worked around all sorts of chemicals.
Wow, that is really cool. We haven't had, I didn't even know this existed, and I'm sure you guys help a whole lot of folks that have been in the atomic energy industry and other ones like it. I was looking at your website and I was like, this is fascinating. How nice.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so what's the best thing about serving aging adults, or any adults for that matter, in the population you serve?
Well, my favorite thing is the rich history that they bring. Everybody's got a story, and I think it's neat to be able to sit down and talk to people on a personal level. The other thing would be, obviously, these folks are the ones that paved the way essentially for us. Their generation paved the way for my generation and generations even before me and after me. So it's good for me. It makes me feel good to be able to give back to those who gave so much for us. I mean, you think about everybody that, veterans that fought in wars and, folks that just essentially paved the way for our generation.
Very true. Very absolutely true. They are a whole group of people that we have no idea some of the sacrifices they've made. So, yep, that's a great generation to support. So I hear from other service providers that marketing online is challenging. It can be confusing, ever-changing. I know it's ever-changing. So what has been your experience or thoughts on this? You guys are nationwide, right?
Yeah, so we're across many different states across the United States, and it's, each one of our community outreach managers has their own territory, and it has been challenging, especially with COVID and things always ever evolving. But I think that's the fun part of the job, is being the mouse to try to get the cheese. And every day, if you can access that cheese and get the win, every day you get the win, it turns into every week, it turns into every month. So it has been a challenge, but I think just with our creative team, we have overcome all of these challenges, and we're thriving through this pandemic, which is absolutely awesome.
Great. Yeah, I hear a lot of folks are really upping their game on the digital marketing in that area, which is something that we do all the time. And it's funny because, when you're in the digital marketing world, things have gotten very busy because everybody's trying to up their game. So that's great. I'm glad you guys are doing that. All right. Lots of folks that we interview have other successful leaders in the industry they'd like to give a shout out to, or just any organization, people who've made an impact in your life professionally. Who would you like to say hi to?
Yeah, one of the biggest contributors I feel has been Adena. They're Adena Health Systems, and they're out of Chillicothe, Ohio, is the one that we utilize very often. And the reason is because the Department of Labor is very specific with how they receive paperwork and what documentation that they need. And Adena has gone above and beyond for their patients and for us to help get specific documentation and medical records and things like that in for these people, so that they can access their benefits and their monetary compensation.
I'm sure that it gets really confusing, especially for the patient or the client.
Absolutely. It's a challenge just to have the burden on a sick worker and the physician to try and navigate it. And that's what we're here for, is, we want to be able to walk them through the process to make it as easy as possible and as smooth as possible, because, they're sick and, they're older, and, some of them don't drive, and it's very hard for them. So we do what we can to try and make things work.
Awesome. What piece of advice would you give to other senior care providers out there in the world?
It would probably be one of our biggest mottos that we live by is to do the right thing. You know, regardless of what you do in life, always do the right thing, always be kind, and be the difference and be the change that you want to be, that you want to see. Always treat others with compassion and kindness because you don't know what kind of day they're having. You don't know, what their history is and where they've been. Sometimes people just need people to talk to, and sometimes, it makes a world of a difference just to smile. So
Yeah.
always be kind.
Yep, that's awesome. That's a great rule of thumb for everybody. And okay, so last question is supposed to be kind of a fun one. Now, wins come in all shapes and sizes, but when you have a win as a team or even personally, how do you like to celebrate?
When I have a win professionally, it's something that our team always shares. There's a group of us community outreach managers, and we meet every week, and we talk about our successes and we talk about our hurdles and stuff. But when we win, and we celebrate that. We recognize that, and we talk about it, and we feed off of it, and we learn from it. So not only do we learn from our mistakes or our hurdles, we learn from our successes, and we just share that with one another, and it makes a difference because you might be having a bad day or a bad week and you hear somebody else's success and it picks you up. You're like, man, I can really do that, or that's a great idea. And so just to be able to celebrate with your team. And then on a personal level, I celebrate with my family. I have a beautiful wife and 2 kids, and we do a lot of fun stuff together. So
Great. That's awesome. Yeah, I think we're so you guys are already a bit virtual because you're all over the place, but just being able to share all the times that you've helped somebody, those wins are so heartfelt, and to be able to get on even a Zoom call and just talk about it is awesome. So, and celebrating with family, just anything at all, whether it's a birthday, those times are always precious to us. So,
right.
yep. So, all right. Well, you did a great job. And I want to thank you for coming on the show and telling us more about what you do and the services you provide, because I bet there's a lot of folks that are going to watch this. I had no idea that this even existed.
Yeah,
But they
thanks.
will now.
Thanks for having me. It's one of those things that a lot of people don't know exists until you talk to them about it. It's
Yeah.
up to $400,000 tax-free compensation, and then medical benefits coverage for any illness that they may have gotten from working at these plants. So it's definitely
Nice.
worth it.
That is so nice. Thank you so much. And we appreciate you being here. So that's awesome.